Hi everyone, today we are looking at a question like this. Now, I can understand that this is a very complicated question, but there's actually a systematic approach to this. Okay, that systematic approach to this is extremely important. Okay, it's kind of like I tell my students zoom in, zoom out. We'll start with zoom out first, then after that, we'll go with zoom in. Am I making sense? Okay, first thing first, the first thing I want to do is to change my 5.2 meters, right, to 520 centimeters. 3.6 meters to 360 centimeters. Am I making sense or not making sense?
You're making sense.
Well, what you're gonna do first, you're gonna look at the pattern. Okay, there is many pattern to look at. I prefer to go by this tree square because you can see that it repeats itself. Am I making sense? All right, so this thing keep repeating itself. It goes on and on and on and on until it reaches to a point whereby we can't do it anymore. You get what I'm trying to say? So for the number of tiles, I will zoom out first. What do I mean by zoom out? I will find the number of tiles first. Then laterwards, I go and find the quadrant. Am I making sense? So my number of tiles on the length, right, will then be 520 divided by 20. Make sense or don't make sense? All right, when I do that, all right, I will get to an answer of 26 what? 26 tiles. Agree or disagree? Okay, so if there are 26 tiles, right, and I can say that one set is actually equals to 3 tiles. Okay, let me just write that down first. One set equals to 3 tiles. Why one set equals to 3 tiles? Because this is my one set. Okay, so I will say one set equals to 3 tiles. And for 3 tiles, every time I see 3 tiles, I will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 quadrant. I just have to highlight to you again. One set, how many quadrant? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I making sense or not making sense? Okay, all right. So this is a very important part that you need to understand. Now, so my question to you is how many tiles are there? 26, right? Okay, so we want to get to something. 26 is not a multiple of 3, isn't it? So you get to 24 tiles first. Am I making sense? And from here itself, you get to 32 quadrant. If you're wondering how do I get from 4 to 32, because you see, in order for me to jump, right, I just have to times A over here, True? Does that make sense to you or not? Not at all. Make sense? All right, then this part also, we also times 8. Agree or disagree? Okay, so that means there are 32 quadrant for 24 4 tiles. Now, the 25th tile, right? Let's see for ourselves. When I get the 25th tile, I will have one quadrant. Why is it one quadrant? Because this is the 25th tile. True? Imagine this is the 25th tile. You get what I'm trying to say? All right, if I draw it like that, it will basically be, okay, the last one, which is the one tile over here, and then the one tile over here. Which is the 25th one? This is the 25th. Which is the 26th? This is the 26th. Am I making sense? So for the 25th tile, there's only one, right? For the 26th tile, all of you should be able to see that the 26th tile will have how many quadrant? 2 quadrant. Am I making sense? Okay, that is basically for which one over there? Is basically for here and here. All right, then this one is simply just like that. Can you see it? Can you see it? So that's the 25th and the 26th one. Understand or don't understand? Now, of course, once I'm done with this, I can see from here, right? How many quadrant do I have in total for just the length? Just the length alone, I will have a total of 35 quadrant. Okay, let's quickly go and find the area of the quadrants. Okay, so the next step you want to find is area of one quadrant. To find area of one quadrant, we just have to do 1 over 4 pi r squared. We will basically do 1 over 4 times 22 over 7. The radius is, as you can see over here, it says that it's 14, right? So we are going to get to 14 to the power of 2. Right? When I do 1 over 4 times 22 over 7 times 14 to the power of 2, I get to 154 centimeters squared. Teacher Joseph, how many quadrant am I going to find? I'm going to find 35 quadrant, right? That is basically 154 times 35, all right? 154 times 35. We get to an answer of 5390 centimeters squared. Now, if you're wondering, what is this 5390? It's only for where? It's only for this part that I'm going to highlight in yellow. You understand what I'm saying or not? It's only for this part that I'm going to highlight in yellow, which I just did. Can you understand? This entire strip is already 5,390 centimeter square. Can you understand or don't understand? Now, my question to you is, how many of these rows will I get? So you see in the second part, it will also be the same thing. True? Can you see or cannot see? Can you see or cannot see? Right, followed by the next one. Can you see or cannot see? Then the next one again. So this pattern keeps going on. This pattern keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on, all the way to a point where it reaches this last point. Am I making sense? So how many of those can I get? How many of those can I get? So from here itself, right, I just simply have to do, again, 5390 is the total. Isn't that true? Right? Then after that, what I want to ask myself is, how many of those tiles do I get? Okay, so I will just go for my breath. Okay, so number of tiles on the breath, I will have 360 divided by 20, we get to 18 tiles. Am I making sense? All right. So that means to say it will go on how many times? This strip will go on 18 times. Why? Because one strip, one tile. True. So 18 tiles means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get what I'm trying to say? You get what I'm trying to say? Okay, so every tower, every one tower, you see, this will go on for 18 times, right? Okay, it's like 18 stories. You know what's 18 story or 18 level? Can you imagine 18 level? All right, so it's always yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green. Keep going on and on and on. Okay, and every strip or every level is 5390. So we want to find 18 times. So we just have to find the total area of the floor. In this situation, total area of the floor will now then be 5,390 times 18. Agree or disagree? All right, you get to 97020 centimeters square, and therefore this is your answer for this question. Hi everyone, if you like this video, you can click right here for a similar video, or you can view our playlist here.